Today we are going to make dragonfly earrings. You will need the following supplies: scissors, cardstock or paper. If you want cardstock, you could use the back of a greeting card or a Christmas card, a pen or a pencil, fabric or ribbon. This is 6-inch wide ribbon, wire or head pins. This is 22 gauge wire because it's easy to twist and to make loops with. 2 ear wires. You want to have 2 so you can make 2 earrings. 8 6mm beads and 4 10mm beads, whatever colors you like. If you're making this at your house and have your own beads, a wire cutter or a nail clippers, a round nose pliers, a nail, or a cotton swab with one end removed. I'm going to use a nail, and if you pick up a kit from one of the libraries that will have them, there will be a nail in your kit, so you won't have to go and look for one. The first step is to make a pattern for your wings. Now you can do this a bunch of different ways, but the way I have found that works the best is to make a single pattern that will make 2 wings. If you look closely here at one of the dragonflies, you can see it looks like there's 2 separate wings, but that is just kind of misleading because we're just going to make a pattern that will do both wings. So what we're going to do is take our paper or our cardstock or whatever we're using, and we're going to make a little half circle that's about 2 to 3 inches wide. Then at the bottom, we're going to take about ½ inch below that, and we're going to make another half circle. And we're going to come in from the end and make it look kind of like a wing. Do the other side here, and then we're going to go on the other end and do the same thing. Now you can see this is a very strange shape, but once you've gathered it, it makes it look like there are 2 wings. Next, we're going to take our ribbon, our fabric, and cut that. This is 6-inch high ribbon, and we're going to cut about a 4-inch wide or long piece here so we can make our wings. So once you've cut that, you'll have a piece that looks about like this, and if you get one of the kits from the library, it will be this exact ribbon. Next, we're going to trace the wings on our fabric. So to make 2 wings, since we have 2 earrings, we're going to go ahead and fold our fabric in 2 so we can cut both out at the same time. And we can set that right on top of our pattern, and then we can trace that. Now, if your tracing is not perfect, it's okay. When you're cutting, you can change things up. If you get a little extra ink or an extra line you didn't intend to get on the wing, think about how wings have those kind of little separations on them, and that is okay. Just adds a little interest to your wing. And then once you have that traced, you'll have something that looks around something like this. Now we're going to cut our wings out. If you want your wings to stay put and not move, you want to make sure you put your thumb and your fingers below the area where the wing is. You can see my thumb is kind of in the middle, so it's not at the edge, because if you do it at the edge, it's more likely going to move around. So we're just going to cut around our pattern like so. And we'll cut inside here. Like I said, if it's not perfect, it's okay. It'll just add a little interest to your wing. And just getting this part right here is a little trickier because it's a little tiny cut. And we'll go over here. And do that. And then get that last little tiny bit right there. And if you do it right, you'll have 2 wings. So the next part is we're going to attach our ear wire to our threading wire. You can see I've already done one. So what we'll do is we'll take our threading wire, which is that long piece of wire, and our nail, and we'll wrap the nail around whatever rounded thing we're using to make a loop. That could be your nail if you pick up a kit from the library or you have one at home. It could be your Q-tip with the head off. It could be round nose pliers, whatever you like. Then you'll take your ear wire and you'll thread it right on there like so. Since you have this little bit of tail, what you're gonna do is go ahead and wrap that around the threading wire. That'll prevent the ear wire from coming off. Now, if for some reason you have a shorter piece of wire than I do, you can just make a loop. Just make sure that if you make a loop that you, it's pretty secure, so your ear wire is not going to come off, because you can lose an earring that way. I've certainly done that a time or two. Then you'll just trim that off using your cutters. Make sure it's trimmed close, because you don't want to have anything catching on your skin or your clothes, because that's never fun. And there you have it. You have an ear wire attached to your threading wire, just like that. Now we're to the fun part where you get to be creative. The first thing you're going to want to do is figure out if you want the head of your dragonfly closer to your ear wire or close to the end. You can go either way. It's attractive either way. But from this one, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the head closest to my ear wire. So I'm going to take one of my bigger beads, the 10mm beads, and feed that on. You can see I got one bead on there. And then we're going to use this wire, threading wire, as if it is a needle. So we're going to take and go down and up and down and up, all the way through there till you get close to the end. But what you want to do is make sure that your wire is on top. You can kind of see that. And then when you get done, you can see how we have what looks like wings there. But it's not going to stay because we have to put our other beads on. So we'll put another bead on, like so. And then we'll start feeding our small beads, because that's going to make the dragonfly tail. So you have 2 beads for the head part of the big kind, and then 4 smaller beads to make the tail. And because you can be creative with this, you can do it in any order you like. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, every other color. It's just the way I like to do it. You could do 2 of the same in a row, 4 of the same color in a row, whatever works best for you. Now when you get to the end of that, you can squish that together, you can see our wings. And what you're going to want to do is turn this over like it makes a little L shape. You can kind of see that's an L, it's perpendicular to the body, because you're going to want that to stop the beads from coming off. You don't want your beads flying everywhere, because that will not be any fun. Then with this extra wire at the end, we're going to make another loop. So take your nail, your round nose pliers, whatever you have to make your loop, and then you'll take that, make the loop, and go ahead, if you have the extra, and you're gonna wrap that around until you don't have, it won't let you wrap it anymore. And you'll take your cutters and just clip that real close. Like I said, you don't want it to catch on you. And you can play around with it. You can play around with the way the wings look, make them look a different way. You can play around if this is not going to hang in your ear the way you want it to. You can twist the wire so it will. You can bend your tail so it looks a little more fun, any way you want. So there's one dragonfly earring. Now for the second one, I'm going to go the opposite direction and I'm going to do the tail first. So we'll feed the small beads on first. There's 1, 2, 3, and if you can find the hole, it's all good. 4, then you'll take one of your large beads, put that on. Now it's a little more challenging to do this, the stringing through the wing because you have the beads and the beads will tend to move around a little bit. So if you have enough space to stick your fingers together like this, it might help. But instead of being the second thing we put on like we did before, this is the second to last thing we put on here with our wings. And we just do like we did before, make like it's a needle. And make sure your wire stays on the top of the wing because it'll look better that way. So there we go. And then we're going to take and put that last big bead on the top. So you can kind of see, there we go with our wings. And we'll do what we did before and make that L shape to keep that from coming off. Then we get our nail and make that loop like we did before. And if for some reason, like I said, if you don't have quite enough wire, you can just feed your wire in at the end if you want. It's okay, whatever works best for you. You can also kind of bend that like this, and you can have like kind of like a little hairstyle or something, I don't know. It's kind of a unique looking thing. So if we bend our tail, he kind of looks like he belongs with his other friend, the dragonfly that's going the opposite direction. Pick up your kit for dragonfly earrings at the Carondelet branch or the Walnut Park branch.